Hello and welcome to In Your Face from Sports Broadcasting Camp, also known as Bear Cubs 712's rant session. Follow him on Twitter at Bear Cubs 712. I'm here, Thomas Mercurio, with the very opinionated Tyler Kading and his opponent in most of these, Hayden Matthews, in these arguments. And we will start with the NBA. I'm going to go with you, Hayden. Who do you think improved the most in NBA free agency and will be looking for a title next year?
So I don't think one individual team improved the most. I actually think I'm just kidding. No, the Milwaukee Bucks improved the most. You want to know why? Because Kawhi left the East. The Bucks are the only somewhat solid team left in the East. I'm not going to be surprised if we have 3 or 4 sub 500 teams that make the playoffs in the East, strictly because there's no talent. The 76ers don't have a three-point shooter. The Bucks are the only team left. They lost Malcolm Brogdon, but they did re-sign Chris Middleton, so they can still space the floor. So the Milwaukee Bucks didn't make a big splash, but they're the most improved because the East got weaker, as it seems to every single year.
Tyler, what's your response to that?
I don't disagree with the East got weaker. That's kind of where I was going to go with this. I completely agree there, except for I don't think the Bucks were the team that benefited the most with this offseason. I think it was Brooklyn. When you look at, this team, it's probably not a title contender in 2019-2020 without Kevin Durant. I still don't think Kyrie Irving can lead a team to a championship. We saw when he tried. I don't think he can. That being said, I think you're looking at 2020, 2021. When you look out back into the future, Kevin Durant may not be the same player ever again, coming off the Achilles injury. Even still, he's going to be a very, very good player. You add Kyrie Irving, who has a number 2 guy, is a very, very good player. You lost D'Angelo Russell as your asset. You replaced him with someone who's, quite frankly, better than D'Angelo Russell and Kyrie Irving. So you didn't get worse in any facet of the game. The East got weaker. Probably not a 2019-2020 title contender. I think the Brooklyn Nets are set up for an absolutely fantastic future.
Hey, you know what? We agree.
Eat.
All right, and moving on, we'll open this up to pretty much any sport. In terms of trades, what do you guys think draft picks are worth compared to actual players?
Nothing. Always trade your prospects. It should be it should be on every general manager's desk. Was those draft day note cards, the Vontae Mack, no matter what. Always trade your prospects. How many times have we seen a big prospect? You can go through, the list goes on and on in every sport. Jamarcus Russell, first one that comes up in my mind. Danny Holtzman in the MLB, because I've just read something about him literally today. These guys were coveted at one time. Everyone wanted them.
Yep.
Awful.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Draft picks are the most overrated trade piece. Everyone was kind of flipping out, when the Nico Mirotic Bulls trade happened. Great deal for the Bulls. They got a first-round pick. You know what that first-round pick was spent on? Chandler Hutchison. Now look, he has not seen a lot of playing time, but during the time that he was playing, I haven't seen anything out of him. The Paul George trade that just went down. Clippers gave up 5 first-round picks. You know where those first-round picks are probably going to be, because the Clippers are a title contender for the next 3 years, because that's how long Kawhi and Paul George's deals are. They're going to be very high up in the draft order, which means those picks are going to be spent on guys who are going to come off the bench and maybe be cut by the time that George and Kawhi's contract is up. It's silly. It's like they got 5 first-round picks. That's insane. But really, if you look at it, they got a bunch of people who are just going to ride the bench for them, except for maybe if they get lucky, they'll find a half-decent starter in the way back end of the first round.
That being said, there are instances where draft picks are valuable.
Of course,
like
the first overall
acquiring
pick,
them, and I think the Clippers made a good. I honestly really think the Thunder made a good trade in this instance, because there are instances if you're a bad team or a rebuilding team, you want draft picks. You should want draft picks. However, as a contending team, as a team that's trying to win, if you're holding on to any singular prospect, any singular draft pick, it's malpractice. As a general manager.
If you're a good team, you take the player that has performed at the professional level, not the player that has the potential, because there is still the chance that he's a bust, and then you got nothing for someone who had a ton of talent, well, your team was still talented.
Well, one deal where you can kind of play the other side is that Nets-Celtics deal with Paul Pierce. In it, since the Celtics just repeatedly were getting top 5 picks, they got Jason Tatum out of it, they got Jaylen Brown out of it, and the Nets just had no chance of getting better because they gave up so many draft picks.
That's also because Billy King's an idiot. I mean,
Yes, exactly.
there's-
So he gave up the draft picks, which is dumb. All right, and now to move on to the most contentious topic. A lot has been made of the stats of running backs these days and how they're not, like, sometimes they're very similar among guys in the same systems. Tyler, do you think running backs, like, the quality of your running back matters?
well, I mean, here's we have this. There isn't and I find it interesting that we have this in a debate show. Because quite honestly, there isn't a debate to be had. It's either you're informed or you are ill-informed. There's really only those two options here. And I'm not wrong here. You look at all the advanced numbers, the average net yards on average of different players in different systems. I mentioned earlier in one of our previous shows about Mike Munchak. And you look at Le'Veon Bell to James Conner, and then looking forward into Phillip Lindsay and the Broncos running backs this year. You look at, you see the average net yards for an average, which is it's not war. It's not a be-all, end-all for a number, but this is the most modern analytic that anyone has come up with to this point, at least to my knowledge and in the public sphere. We're coming to a point where you look at running back scheme matters, scheme fit matters. The actual talent of a running back does not matter. There's no debate, there's no argument against that unless you're making up numbers.
I'm gonna tell you something, Tyler. You're wrong. So,
Like I said, you're either informed or you're ill-informed.
Okay, so here's my opinion on it. Look, there are instances like Le'Veon Bell and James Conner where both running backs fit the scheme in Pittsburgh and both running backs were used properly. Now the issue is there are some running backs that are not used properly, and
That's not the argument we're having
but
here, though. That's not the
running
argument we're
backs
having here.
matter. You need a running back that knows what they're doing. Like Tariq Cohen is the shortest guy on the field. But all you have to, you sling him the ball, he knows what to do. He's a running back. He has running back vision. He knows when to cut back. Like, you were mad because the Bears spent a third-round pick on David Montgomery. That's an excellent pick. They needed a running back. They filled the hole with a guy who they know will perform. And you need a running back. If you don't have a running back, you are putting all the pressure on your quarterback. If you just put any random dude back there and say, hey, run between the tackles, let the blockers do the work, it's never going to work. You have to have...
It has worked in the past multiple times.
With who?
James Conner.
He's an actual NFL running back with good vision.
Did you watch him this year?
He has vision, Tyler.
He has vision. Are you comparing to Le'Veon Bell?
Well, no one has Le'Veon Bell's
Le'Veon
vision.
Bell's vision.
Yes, Le'Veon Bell is insanely good. I'm not doubting that. But you need a running back, a solid running back, to have success in the league. Because otherwise, teams will just back off, play a zone defense, and make you pass. And they'll make you beat them with the run.
Then how come teams haven't been able to? How come, if it's solely that simple, how come there's actual? I can't talk right now. Wow. How come there's an actual movement in the NFL towards less importance on a running back? If what you're saying is completely correct and it's so simple and so easy and running backs are solely godsend, how come the league is moving in my direction?
The league is not moving in your direction.
It absolutely is.
Saquon Barkley was just picked in.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the
overall.
Giants.
Zeke
Did
was
you
picked
see
four.
how much?
Zeke
Did you
was
see
picked
how
four.
much better
How
he
much
made that?
How much do we bash David Gettleman?
Wait.
If you're using David Gettleman as your argument, I think
Yeah, but
you're
look
big,
how
you're a
much
big
Saquon
issue
Barkley
there.
improved the
Moderate.
Giants'
Stop. So,
running game.
Saquon Barkley was picked 2. Zeke was picked 4. Christian McCaffrey was the first round pick.
Christian McCaffrey was like, I don't know where it was, but it was first.
Leonard Fournette was.
No,
Yeah,
Fournette
but
was
look,
fine. Fournette's
Leonard
gonna get
Fournette.
cut. Fournette's not.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Well, there's also off the field stuff
But
there, but
there is a perfect swing towards general managers who have spent first-round picks on running backs having success. You just said Christian McCaffrey
Okay,
is
one
the
of them-
best running back in the league. First-round pick. First-round pick. Are you mad about that pick? Are you mad? Do running backs matter?
These GMs that have made these picks: Dave Gettleman, the laughingstock of the league; Jerry Jones is unlimited job security because he's his own boss. I don't know, the Panthers have made a move. The Panthers have overturned their. The Panthers have
Yeah, but
overturned
what if
their,
it worked?
Their Panthers have overturned their
It
entire
worked.
front office since that happened. The Jaguars have overturned their entire front office since that happened.
You're not listening to me. It worked. The running
Has it
backs.
worked?
No, it did. It worked.
Saquon.
Yeah. The general managers picked great running backs in the first round and they became great running backs. And Saquon Barkley, I can argue, is the only reason the Giants weren't 0-16 last year, because Eli Manning is a joke.
All
So-
right. I mean, Hayden, you got the last word in right there, and
Running backs matter.
that is it for In Your Face, also known as BearCub712's rant. Follow him on Twitter at BearCub712. Follow him on Twitter.
I don't recommend following him.
I don't think he ever tweets, but he tweets like 100 times a day. But that's it for Tyler Kading and Hayden Matthews. I'm Thomas Mercurio. Thank you for watching.